Hi everyone, this is Crash Me Twice, and today we're gonna try to finish a cupola project. I'm machining here the back plate, the bottom part. I already made 2 grooves for the cables and a little one here for the temperature sensor. So I'm gonna go this extra step and mill this out so we can implement a foam between the tech and the plate. Make this very shallow. It doesn't need to be very deep. Just enough to put a small piece of foam which surrounds the tech. So let's add some cutting fluid to it. It works very well on marine board. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think that will work. Let's clean this up a little bit here. And here we are. Now we have that recessed groove here for foam. This little corner here with that little, and these 2 are for cables going up. Milled out sections for the temperature sensor from the tech. So we're good on that. So I made here a short piece of aluminum profile 4040, which I will be using to mount the bracket and heatsink combo to a profile like this. This profile is already in the Simpit, so I'll just put it here so we have something to look at. Next step here is I'm gonna make a bracket on each side from the bottom here up and out, and this is going to have a thermal pad on it in addition to thermal paste on this side, so we get the maximum thermal transfer. The whole combo will act as a large heatsink. So first off, we're going to have here a 6061 scrap aluminum plate. So I will make 2 cuts and create those brackets. Okay, let's cut this off. Alright, let's cut the other one too. So we need 2 plates. Here they are. And now we have to cut them this way. Let's go over to the mill and get them down to size. Okay, so now we're at the mill. I already put those pieces in, and that's gonna mill them straight. That's gonna flip them, and then we're gonna just do the outsides. Alright, okay. I've marked the L shape out. So this part has to be removed. And on both of those plates, and those brackets. And that's what we're going to do right now. Perfect. And here we are. Now I'm gonna clean this up and gonna drill some holes. Okay, now at the drill press we're gonna drill all those holes out. First the smaller one, and then we enlarge them to M6. And once we have M6, then we're gonna go M8. Just on the upper one. The other one stays M6. Alrighty. Here we are. Okay, we're gonna need a 5mm hole in here because this will be tapped M6. Now we're gonna repeat this on the other side and then we'll tap it. Yep, looking good. Alrighty, here we are. 1, 2, and now we're going to tap them. M6. I think we're ready to tap that. We'll make sure we get our bit in very straight. Tap, I mean. Alright. I think we're deep enough, but let's go one more time in there just to make sure we bottomed out from our hole. Now let's be gentle. Nothing worse than breaking a tap in aluminum. Okay. Let's get. Okay, we bottomed out. Now, gonna clean this up. Gonna chamfer this a little bit too. Great. Alright, that's gonna go over to the assembly bench and see if this all fits. I've mounted everything up. And this is kind of how it looks right now. I didn't put the tech in yet. And I also only used 2 bolts here. But you can see this is kind of how this whole setup here works. And these are the L brackets we just made. And the next step is here to make in the front a plate for the controls. I have here a piece of round stock. I had that in the scrap bin. What I did before is I didn't have a square piece, so I cut a round stock to have a square piece. Anyway, so this is left over. And I'm thinking making here a control panel, something like this. I could make it round, completely extended from this to this, but I think I prefer just to have something a little bit sticking out. So shorten it up here and here, and sticking a little out like so, because I think that looks pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to do next here. I'm going to go into the mill, and I'm going to face both sides here, and then I cut a piece here and here, and then see we can mount this in here before we machine everything out for LEDs or whatever wood. So that's the next step here. Okay, we're at the mill, and now we're going to surface this side first. We want to just get rid of those cut marks from the saw. Now we're going to do the other side. Yep, that's good now. It's flat. Okay. That's looking good. Gonna deburr this and sand it down, and then I'll be back. Okay, so here we are with our piece. All looking pretty good. Now we're gonna measure where we're gonna machine it. All good. Okay, now we're gonna take the outer edges off of that moon-shaped piece. Okay, looking alright. Gonna drill this out, and then we turn it around and make 2 sockets for the screws. Alright, that's 100% there. Okay, we have this side done. Now we're gonna swap out that drill bit for an end mill, and we're gonna make a little tiny pocket. Okay, that's one. I'm just gonna drill the other one. Now we're gonna take that out. That's perfect. Alrighty. Let's drill the center holes out for the M4 to pass through, and then we're good to go. That bolt will fit in here just nicely. Here you go. Here's our piece. And now we're gonna drill that out. And here we are. And let's test it. Okay, here we are at the assembly bench. Here's our little switch block we made. Here the holes were drilled into this plate. Now let's mount this on here properly. Let's see where, here it is. Right now arrows up here. Just need to put 2 in here right now, just for testing. Alright, here's our block. And this one should be 1 millimeter above the surface because we don't want to have the heat traveling into here. I mean, it will be probably warm, but the heat will not go in here. I also, what I did is I machined those bolts down a little bit to fit in here properly. And now we should be able to mount this on here, so without too much difficulty. Everything is lining up just fine, so that's good. And here we are. Nicely recessed here. I think it looks fine. And we're going to put switches in here, or a switch, LED, and then we go from there. But this assembly is pretty much done. You can see the gap in here. So it's about 1 millimeter, and then everything should be fine. Okay, next step is figuring out where the switches and the LED goes and that stuff, and then put it in a mill and mill this stuff out. So I'll be back with that. Okay, we're here at the mill. We're gonna drill the hole for that little switch here, which goes in the center. Alright, these bits that gum up, multiply passes are the way to go. Next step is measuring the width of that switch so we can drill it out to the correct size. Okay, so I marked up where we need to make the cutout for the body of that switch, because we want to sink that in as far as possible so that the switch actually sticks out on the other end. And also we don't have space in the rear, so we want to just sink it in as far as it covers that casing and the contacts. Let's do that. Okay, all milled out. I'll take it out here. That's kind of how it looks. That's where the switch goes. Next step is to drill holes for LEDs. And then we should be good on that. So, I got a lot done, and here's that switch block we made. You can see I put some LEDs in here, and I put a switch in here. So now we have blue for cold, red for hot, and a switch which can be moved into either direction. The switch is not fully put in yet. I just mocked it up. As you can see here, I'm gonna have to make all the connections for that. And this goes like that. So I also had an old CPU heatsink from, I don't know, a decade ago. And I machined those out, those 2 holes. And this will, and I also did that surface. And that will make the connections between this profile and that profile. This profile is just a mock-up here, but this profile is already in my Simpit. So this will go on top here, or on the bottom, depending how you see it. And this will transfer some of the heat from this profile to that profile. Because the profiles itself, they're on the walls, they're very thin. In the center you don't make any contact, so the only contact really is in these 4 areas, and there's really not a lot of heat transfer going on. So to help this situation, I made this little machine down that heatsink and cut 2 holes in it, and I'm going to mount this right between those transferring heat from this to this. I want to have as much thermal distribution as possible. So that's why I made that. Because first I thought I was just going to make a plate, like so. But then I thought, hey, I got this old heatsink laying around. Why not using this? You know, it has a lot more surface area, and it kind of looks cool. So that's that. I also machined, well, I relieved those edges here. So when this one goes in here, oops, the other way, then we have a little bit more room for cabling and so forth for our switch block here. Alright? In addition to that, I have here one of those project boxes, and already drilled the holes for the temperature controllers, which will go in here. 2 of them, which control either heat and cold or vice versa. And then I'm gonna make another little board here from those PCB project boards, which goes in here, and this will have some relays on it to switch the tech and so reverse the polarity depending on that switch here. That switch itself, I could not find a good switch, so I thought maybe I can just make something here. I used, this is a switch I have, just like the one that was in there. Has this very long lever on it, and so I just cut that lever down, and that worked out just fantastic. So because I don't want to have this lever sticking out that long, obviously, so that's just perfect. That just worked out great. And then each one of the LEDs I put in, these are the same here, a red and a blue one. They are 3mm LEDs. So, as I said, I got a lot done, and then we have only one machining part left as far as I can say right now, and that is making the slot into the cup holder so that the cup will go in there. And that's what's on the list right now. So this is next to do, and I'll get on that. I see you at the mill. We're all set up on the mill for our slot to be milled out into the cup holder. So here we go. It will fit right now to accommodate for other cups as well. So I think for now we are okay. Alright, so we'll take it out, deburr it, and see how everything fits. Okay, here we are. Here's our slot. All good. Now if I put the cup in here, it nicely fits with a little room to spare on the handle. Wonderful. Awesome. Here's our cup holder. Cup fits right in here. Done. Perfectly cut. There's a little bit of room for a larger handle. Looking good. Alright, let's get to the assembly. And after that we're going to do the electronics, and then we should be good. Okay, here we are. Let's get this all assembled. I already installed some foam here, as you can see. I just used some leftover foam I had, and I just cut a piece out and put it in there. So I also added some foam right here for the temperature sensor, which is right here. I verified that it worked before we install it, and that goes in here, and the foam will press against it so it always makes contact with the aluminum. And before I start with thermal paste and putting the tech on, I want to clean this all up with alcohol very good. So let's get this started here and install the tech and the sensor. Okay, so this one is clean. And now we're gonna clean the tech up. Alright, I think that's pretty clean here. Let's get onto the thermal paste here. And on text, you wanna spread it evenly over the whole area. Just like a cross or a rice corn dot does not do it. And you wanna give it a fair amount to make sure we have contact everywhere on that ceramic here from that tech. Because if they're not covered completely, they're burn out. Ask me how I know that. Let's pop that on here and see if we can place this somewhere in the center here. And now we're gonna disassemble this part here. Here's our heatsink. Before we get on that, we're gonna install this here and the sensor. Now on the sensor, it goes in here like this. I'm gonna put some thermal paste onto that sensor, good amount, like so. And the next step is installing this one here. It goes like that. And then we just tighten it down. And then we're gonna test it quick how it works. Now I could polish this or lap this, as we're saying, when we're overclocking, to make this super smooth. But it's a tech, it's not a CPU. A couple degrees back or forth, don't matter at all. And let's get some thermal paste on that. And I'm just using the same paste as I use for my CPUs and GPU, which is Arctic MX4. I really like that one. It's easy to spread, and I have servers with half the stuff on it now for 5-6 years, and the paste has not dried out yet. And now we're gonna get this assembled here. How this works is we're just gonna go make sure this is in the center, because that's in the center, we know that, and press that on and wiggle a little bit back and forward. And now we put our 2 bolts in, and now we tighten them just. I don't want to over tighten it, I don't want to ruin it. So here we go, this is installed. So we are at my electronics bench. I have created the switch box for it, and I have 2 LEDs installed. Now here I have my switch, heating, cooling, and off. And you can see in the switch box right now, when I switch it onto cooling, this temperature sensor is working. Switch to heating, this temperature, so I can set a heating temperature and a cooling temperature. Okay, so soldering, switch box, all done, and yeah, I'm ready to get this going. Alright, I'll see you before I install. Okay, here we are in the Simpit. We're gonna install our cup holder. I already put thermal grease on the back side of that profile. I also mounted one of the corner brackets so I can just slide it in and get this going. These are these type of corner brackets. These are specially designed for 40/40 profiles. I got this in so I can slide it straight into it. And then we're gonna use one of those fasteners for the side here. Let's hope this works all out and get this all tightened. Okay, so now we get this installed here. So first thing is you're gonna slide that one on, like so. And the next step is, where did I put that now? Over here. Next step is to slide this one in here, that banjo fastener. Oh, come on. Okay, now we're gonna tighten that one down. And then we're gonna tighten the other side down with that angle piece. And we're using just a standard Allen key. Okay, next step is here to install that heatsink. I already put a pad on it, and we're gonna take that foil off when we're down there and install it. Okay, that's in. So next morning, everything is installed. I had that soda pop in there since last night before I went to bed. Now I just got up here to the office, and now I want to check the temperature. It's almost too cold. On the pop itself, 8 degrees Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit. So I would say that's a success. Today I'm gonna try the opposite with when I go to bed, I'm gonna put in a coffee, just a plain coffee, and see how long it stays warm. So we know it works, and well, what can I also say? A great little project, I enjoyed it. I would say a total success here. I love my cup holder, how it looks and how it works. Well, that's it for today. Next time I'm taking a closer look at the inner workings of the Thrustmaster Warthog throttle base. That video is coming soon. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. Don't forget to check out my Discord channel and visit my website at crashmetwice.com for more info on this and other projects. If you like to support this channel, you can buy me a nice cup of coffee from the link below or on my website. Hope you all enjoyed this video. and hope I earned a like from you. Correct me twice, out.